Kona kuba clean la webhuti ngoba manje phela le ndawo vele ihlala ingcolile isikhathi esiningi. And ema-clean kanje nathi sesizokhona nanokuthi sihambe nje la umgwaqo uvulekile ya. Yona nje siyabonga ngoba phela indawo yakhona izoba right ibe clean yonke into ya. Sibonga kakhulu ya. Ngaphandle phela khona nabantu abazolamba ngoba phela abanye abantu bathengisela khona la. Kodwa phela asazi mhlawumbe khona iplani azolenza naye uhulumeni ukuthi abantu bathole ezinye indawo zokudayisela nani. Siyabonga baba.
Zwar, ne penere tsebang ke yona e. Mzansi ko now. Pen Afrika ke yona e. Ama fedli dia span. No dia span. There can so it's so not only today. Obenet so. Thanks my brother.
Ayisebenzile mathatha. Iwaheleza umoya pen. Hey. Aze fresh years wayibona nje. Hayi siyabonga bafowethu. Ibambeke nje kanje. Ngabe samove impela. Siyabonga kakhulu bafowethu.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the recent bylaw enforcement drive in Johannesburg led by Mayor Dada Morero. This inner city cleanup campaign is making waves, clearing out illegal traders, unauthorized taxi ranks, hijacked buildings and informal settlements. As a South African patriot, my take is clear. Most of this chaos comes from illegal foreigners violating our laws and overwhelming our cities. Of course, some of our own citizens are involved too, and they must also face the consequences, just like anyone else breaking the rules. But we all know that they're not the majority. And these human rights groups, they're constantly siding with criminals and illegals over law-abiding South Africans. Why do they keep defending disorder? Let's get into it.
The inner city cleanup campaign, the understanding is that you are enforcing bylaws, whether people like it or not. Who's your main target?
Well, in what we're doing really, Tata Mugambi, and thanks for the opportunity once more. We're focusing on bylaw enforcement in the inner city. Firstly, we're dealing also with illegal trading, which should not have been there in the first place. So we're sorting it out. We're also dealing with the illegal taxi ranks that we have seen in the inner city. Unfortunately, we're engaging with Santaco and other taxi bodies, the top six and the rest, to ensure that we bring about proper coordination of taxis in the inner city. Yeah. We're also dealing with issues of property owners and buildings in the inner city who are not compliant with the regulations of the city. So that's the target in the main, and to ensure that we can bring back order and discipline in the inner city so that people can now enjoy walking on the pavements, people can enjoy coming to the inner city to make their groceries, to make shopping. In that way, we contribute towards economic growth, and that is the focus of the campaign that we are doing, Mr. Mugambi.
Yeah. The reason I asked you that question as to who your target is, it was almost obvious in my mind that these would be traders or hawkers. And these are people who say they are trying to make ends meet with the city that is perhaps unable to give them proper shelter in a designated area where they can sell their wares without being harassed by Metro Police officers. How do you balance that equation? Because these are people who still have got to make a living.
We do have designated areas for trading. There are processes in which you apply. There are those who have valid and genuine permits who are in our markets, right there in North Street, in Wanderer Street, Plain Street, who have the necessary documentation. Now, unless we just want it to be free for all, then we'll just have to then turn a blind eye to the crisis that we have currently. So we've then acted to say, no, those that are illegal, they've put themselves in the spaces which are not even designated for trading, they should be removed, because they must, in the process of trading, everyone is required to abide by the laws and the regulations of the city governing how you trade in that particular city. Now, if you go to the area in which that we have cleared, an area popularly known as Dunuza, we have cleared it precisely because it is not designated for any form of trading. But next to it, we have markets that are designated for trading, and there are people there with permits. Others, their permits have expired. We have therefore directed them to come to the Department of Economic Development to undergo a process of applications so that their permits could be renewed.
Yeah.
We've also went into a process of even producing a smart card with a PR code so that we can know who's there, and our officers can only just have to check the QR code and they'll be able to confirm that this trader is indeed legal in the space.
Okay.
We also experience a bigger problem, Mr. Mugambi, just quickly, wherein we've got a lot of people who, in fact, are in the markets and in designated areas, but the permits do not belong to them. And it's something that we need also to clean and clear so that trading can happen and happen orderly with discipline.
You'll understand, Mr. Mayor, the next question, and it's not out of cynicism, but genuine concern that all of these things that are being done, I mean, the pictures we are beaming as you were explaining what is going on, the city, the areas at least that are being shown to us, they really look pretty. They look good. You can genuinely walk on the streets of inner city Johannesburg once again. Is this a gimmick? Is this all for the G20 summit that is coming? Or are we going to see a regression soon thereafter?
We have a responsibility as government with our departments, especially our law enforcement and bylaw enforcement department, to ensure that we enforce the law and the situation does not change. We maintain what we have started. We maintain the look and feel of the inner city currently. It's a commitment that we have made, and it goes beyond the G20. G20 is an event. It's actually an event of 2 days. Once the meeting of ministers is completed and the heads of state makes their closing remarks, the event is gone. It's done and dusted. South Africa remains. The city of Johannesburg remains. We have a responsibility even beyond that to ensure that the inner city of Johannesburg is cleaner. We took a decision, by the way, to go through a process of setting up systems internally. We are now at an execution stage. All the programs in the city, whether it's road resurfacing in Region B, all our plans and systems have been put in place. We're at the stage of execution now.
Yeah.
We're no longer negotiating or debating. It's execution. Similar in the inner city, it's execution. And we are not going to regress. But by the way, we've already been taken to court by an NGO claiming that we have removed people who are trading in the streets and our actions were illegal and unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So we are going to the courts to defend the issue, and we must put it up front to the people of Johannesburg that we're not going to back off. We will challenge the courts until there's proper order in the inner city. We're not going to give up and allow them, whatever judgment will come out. If it's not in our favor, we'll appeal it right throughout.
Sanmanan Mahlali, Basekoli, Councillor Zungu, MMC of GCSS in the city of Johannesburg. I thought I should take you through in terms of what has transpired lately. Tomorrow we've been dragged to court by an organization called SERI. This organization normally represents all illegalities that are done to the city of Johannesburg. and they are actually the enemy of progress. In anything that we want to do as a city, they are always there to make sure that they prevent us from doing things that we want to achieve as the city. So tomorrow we are in court at 10 o'clock. But the mayor has said it, whatever happens with the court, we're not going to back off. We're going to make sure we intensify. We're not going to allow anyone to intimidate us with the courts. We're more than ready as the city of Johannesburg to make sure that we challenge anyone who wants to try and prevent us from making sure that we reclaim the city of Johannesburg. We appreciate the fact that Abahlali of the city of South Africa are behind the city of Johannesburg in making sure that we clean and keep the city clean. We shall be able to update yourselves after the court tomorrow, but we can assure you with Asindao at the city, we are going to camp there until the city is reclaimed fully. Thank you.
So this campaign is all about restoring order in Joburg's inner city. They're enforcing bylaws strictly, removing illegal hawkers from sidewalks, sorting out chaotic taxi operations, and tackling non-compliant buildings. Areas that were cluttered and unsafe are now looking clean and walkable. The goal is to make the city better for everyone. Safer pavements, easier shopping, and a boost to the economy. As a patriot, I support this move. It's about time they stepped up to fix the mess that's plagued Joburg for years. But let's be honest, the root of these problems is mostly illegal foreigners. Reports and stats show that in many informal settlements and hijacked buildings, 70 to 90% of the people are undocumented migrants from places like Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Malawi. They're crossing our borders illegally, setting up in our parks and buildings, and turning public spaces into no-go zones. Yes, there are South Africans in the mix, locals who are desperate or breaking laws themselves, and they too need to be held accountable. No exceptions. If you're violating bylaws, you have to face the music, no matter where you're from. But denying that illegals are the main issue, that's ignoring the facts. They're the ones making our streets overcrowded and unlivable. These illegal traders aren't just surviving. They're breaking rules, blocking walkways, creating dirt and disorder, and competing unfairly with legal businesses that follow the law and pay taxes. There are designated spots for trading with proper limits, but illegals ignore that and set up wherever they want, turning the city into a jungle. Same with taxis, unregulated ranks causing traffic nightmares. Why should we put up with all of this? South Africans deserve clean, safe streets where we can walk without hassle and grow our economy without sabotage. What really gets me angry are these human rights organizations and NGOs. They're already challenging the city in court over these cleanups, calling them unconstitutional. Groups like Socio-Economic Rights Institute, the Human Rights Commission, they're always defending the so-called vulnerable. But who are they really shielding? Criminals and illegal foreigners. Why support people who violate bylaws? Why back overcrowded sidewalks that make the city unwalkable? Why oppose a clean and orderly Johannesburg? It doesn't make sense. They're putting the rights of lawbreakers ahead of decent, tax-paying citizens. The courts even forced the city to provide alternative housing for evictions from hijacked buildings, dangerous places run by gangs, mostly occupied by illegals. Meanwhile, South Africans suffer the fallout, unsafe areas, strained resources. These NGOs are not helping. They're enabling the problem, and it's time we call it out. Stop protecting illegals at our expense. And also, why is this crackdown happening right now? The ANC has been in charge for decades, letting Joburg decay under their noses. crime soaring, buildings hijacked, settlement spreading. They've done nothing effective. Now, suddenly they're enforcing bylaws with force. Dada Morero claims it's for the people, not some event, but I don't buy it. The G20 summit is on the horizon. They don't want global leaders seeing the embarrassment. Or maybe it's gearing up for the 2026 elections, trying to look strong on law and order to grab votes. If it was truly for the citizens, why the delay? Weak borders, no real deportations, poor policing, that's all their failures. And as patriots, we need real solutions, not these half measures that the ANC keeps doing. And to be clear, I have no issue with legal immigrants who respect our laws and contribute. But illegals, they're burdening our hospitals, housing and jobs, resources meant for South Africans. In settlements, they're often the majority, stretching everything thin. Hijacked buildings follow the same pattern, foreigners taking over, creating hazards. And if locals are involved, prosecute them equally. The law applies to all. But these NGOs using human rights to block progress, it's anti-South African. We deserve parks for our kids, thriving businesses, and a city that we can be proud of, not chaos and excuses. That's my view on the Joburg cleanup. Putting South Africa first means addressing illegal foreigners head on, ensuring everyone follows the law, and rejecting NGO interference that favors disorder. What are your thoughts? Share them in the comment section. Are these groups going too far? Is this just political theater? Let's talk. Watch the video on your left to see the ANC forcing the Road Accident Fund to pay illegal foreigners. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Until next time.